This is the Friday edition. The Saturday edition can be found on NBC Sports Radio, 9:20 a.m. Las Vegas, and on 10:50 a.m., 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM in the Los Angeles and Inland Empire. 8 a.m. Pacific Time. My name is Alicia Thompson. Welcome to the Sports Circus again. You can also stream the show live at thesportcircus.com. I know you guys are looking for Sal the bookkeeper. He's not here. Actually, he's transformed into a 6'1" black woman. I am Alicia Thompson again. I am the WNBA female correspondent for the show, here to report the female sports athletes across the country. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself first. If you watched the March 10th show, I was on that show. Sal the bookkeeper had a nice big WNBA championship ring behind me. Given a little bit of, again, information about myself. I played WNBA basketball, was drafted by the New York Liberty, first round draft pick, played 1 year there. Then I went on to play for the Indiana Fever for 3 years. What an amazing experience. Came in on the first year of the expansion team. A lot of new girls coming in from that team. Didn't do as well there, but hey, it was a fun experience for me. After that, I leave and go to play for the Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm was where I won the WNBA championship in 2004. Great experience. My first championship ring, again, which we probably saw on the March 10th show, and retired in 2005. Went on to play a little bit more overseas. Awesome experience over there as well. So had a lot of fun playing basketball. Glad that I'm here to share basketball with you. Okay, this show is sponsored by the WMLBA, which is the Women's Minor League Basketball Association, in which I'm a head coach for the Dallas Lightning right here in Dallas, Texas. It is kind of like the minor league for the WNBA. You think of the men's basketball, the NBA, they have the minor leagues in which you have players that are LBA, which is a minor league that we are using to help women to get further in their career, maybe get bumped up to the WNBA. So check us out, Dallas Lightning, again, sponsored by WNBA, LBA. Really excited about that. So I'm talking basketball. Why? Because that is what I do. Again, former professional athlete. Sal couldn't be here today. I really thank you, Sal, the bookmaker, for allowing me to do this. This is just a great opportunity. I'm so excited. Again, if you saw the March 10th show, you saw me with the ring in the background, Alicia Thompson reporting for the female athletics to Sports Radio Circus, or Sports Circus Radio. Okay, so we're going to talk about the NCAA basketball. Why? It is March Madness. Okay, and basketball is just amazing in March because you have the top teams across the country competing for a trophy. They're going for it. I mean, it is just all out for teams battling for this NCAA trophy, which everybody wants. It's what I wanted when I played basketball, which I played basketball at Texas Tech. Very, very, very good experience there as well. So we were in the tournament each year. We actually made the Sweet 16 every year, made it to the Elite 8 my freshman year, which was just awesome. We got beat out by the Tennessee Volunteers, Pat Summit, that team. They were just a very, very strong team. We went in and we did our best. I mean, we did what we can do, but I know what competing on this level is like. These ladies and gentlemen who are playing in March Madness tournament time, literally, this is the best athletes in college basketball going at it for this championship, and it's fun to watch. I mean, you really should get involved. If you're not a basketball fan, you will be if you start watching March Madness. I guarantee it. You will be a basketball fan. So we talk about the teams that are doing well. Anytime you hear women's basketball, the first name that's going to come up, the UConn Huskies. Of course, the UConn Huskies. Why? They have a 109 winning streak right now. I mean, you can't even think about the last time Gino Auriemma and these ladies have lost a game. They've gone undefeated the past 3 or 4, 5, 6 seasons in a row. They went undefeated this year with a overall record of 36-0. They don't lose at home. They don't lose away. They don't lose at neutral spots. They don't lose. I mean, they bring so much attention to women's basketball. And as the women's ambassador, or the ambassador for the Women's Final Four 2017, I was voted that this year, and very excited to hold that title. Gives me an opportunity to talk about women's basketball, share my passion for basketball, get out there in the community, help the kids, talk to our future generation, and bring exposure, for the game of women's basketball. And so I'm really excited to be the ambassador, which is why I'm here to tell you, watch March Madness. Again, I can't express that enough. Okay, UConn Huskies. I was even asked by some people, do you think UConn Huskies winning so many games is bad for women's basketball? How could it be bad for basketball? What I do think is that some teams need to step up and try to beat this team. I mean, any team is beatable. You guys have heard me say it before. Any team is beatable. We know that, but so far, the Huskies they're just holding it down. I haven't found a team that could even stand in there with them, except for Notre Dame. November 14th, Notre Dame almost beat them. They only won the Huskies by 2 points. Final score of that game was 78-76. If you guys watch a little bit of basketball, you know the tension there is between Gino Auriemma and the head coach at the Fighting Irish, which is, I know Sal calls Notre Dame, but I have a friend there that coaches on the staff, so I'm not going to call it Notre Dame. But the Fighting Irish almost took them down. And if you guys have ever watched Gino Auriemma on the sideline, that's how you know when, the guy never sweats. I mean, he doesn't have to. He doesn't even come close to losing games. But when he does, he just starts loosening that tie. He takes the jacket off. He has the big pit stains, just sweating, just dripping down his. I mean, that's how you know that Gino Auriemma is like, oh, he's starting to get nervous. And he doesn't do that too often because they beat every team they play by 40, 50, 60, 60-something points, 65 points. I saw they beat a team first game of the season, 113-39. I mean, they're not just beating teams, they're rolling over teams. And so to make him nervous, oh my gosh. And so him and Muffet McGraw have this little thing going on where they really don't like each other. They try to keep it professional. So I know every time she goes in to play him, she wants to just take him out. But I'm again back to Gino. When you know he's nervous, he starts taking. It's like, okay, is this guy going to be coaching in his long black socks and his boxer briefs by the time the game's over? He just keeps taking the layers off. I'm like, okay, keep it G-rated, Gino. Come on, okay. So we talk about other teams in the NCAA. Again, UConn Huskies. Some other favorites, you think about the Stanford Cardinal. Tara Vanderveer, the head coach there, always has a good program. You think about Big 12. I'm always a favorite of the Big 12 because I played in the Big 12 conference at Texas Tech. So teams that are really, really well and have done well in the past, you think of Baylor University. Kim Mulkey always brings in talent there. Brittany Griner, I mean, the girl was like 100 foot tall. She brought some dunking back into the women's game of basketball, but since then they've won a national championship, and so Baylor's always going to give somebody a run for their money. You think about the Oklahoma Sooners and Sherry Cole. I mean, Sherry Cole was coaching Oklahoma when I was at Texas Tech. She's just a gritty coach. She knows how to come in and inspire the women. She knows how to get the most out of her girls. So we look for them to do very good things in the Big 12. And then you talk about our rival at Texas Tech, which I don't always like to give them any kind of love, but I guess I can put it aside now just for the tournament. But you think about UT, the University of Texas. I mean, they're always going to play good, solid basketball. I know they're kind of dirty players because they gave it to us. You know, we did battle when we played back in 98 and 97. I mean, it was always a tough game with the Longhorns. So they're going to, you know, come in and do some good things with the teams. Make it challenging for a lot of those teams. Think about South Carolina. Oh my gosh, Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley was just recently named the head coach of the USA national basketball team. I mean, South Carolina, again, came really, really close to beating UConn early in the season as well. UConn only beat them by 11, as well as they beat the Irish by 11 too. But these are the two teams that come even close, along with Stanford, to getting in within range of beating the Huskies. South Carolina is one of them. You think of Dawn Staley, what kind of player she was. She played in the WNBA for the Charlotte Sting. I remember her. She wasn't very big, but she was mean. She was gritty. She knew how to get things together. She knows how to inspire her athletes and, build relationship with her players. So they want to just, go all out for her because she's that type of coach. She knows how to get the best out of her players to motivate them. That was the type of player she was. She was very calm, cool, collected, but she handled her business. So South Carolina's doing that, doing really, really well. You think Dawn Staley, she's good enough to win the position to be the USA national coach. She's qualified to do some great things with the South Carolina basketball team. She was at Temple University for many years, went in, did a really, really good job with their program, turned that program just around in a way positive direction. So, hats off to Dawn Staley for what she's doing. I wish her the best of luck. She carried the torch for the USA and the Olympics. So she's Olympic champion. She just knows how to win. So I think if any upset were to come, I would think that the Fighting Irish or Dawn Staley in South Carolina would provide that. You talk about some players to watch. UConn is always producing nice players. I played with one of them, Sue Bird. You think of Diana Taurasi that played, she plays for the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA. She's MVP, awarded the MVP award many years. Just a great player. She knows how to score. She knows how to get it. So UConn always produces athletes. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of the buzz or not about UConn, and I don't know. This is something Gino may have up his sleeve that may help him out a little bit, but you talk about home court advantage. Everybody loves to play at home. Why? Because there's 17,000 fans that are supporting you, yelling, just crazy loud in the gym. I think about Seattle Storm. It was so loud in that gym that we couldn't even hear each other yell out the plays. I mean, we were hand signaling, we were screaming at the top of our lungs. We were we looked like air flight controllers just over here, we were waving. That's how loud it was in the gym. That is why home court advantage is so important, because you win games when you have 16,000, 17,000 fans cheering for you. So UConn knows this, right? What happens? People are a little upset because they're playing the regional tournament an hour and a half away from their home court. Does UConn really need any kind of advantage? They're smoking teams by 70 points. They're, literally with their eyes closed, bandana, one hand tied behind their head, still beating, behind their back, still beating teams by 60 points. People feel like they don't need really an advantage. They've had the advantage. Their advantage is they're freaking good. That's the advantage. So the talk is each team gets 100 tickets for fans to come and watch them play during tournament time. 100 tickets per team. So UConn gets not only their 100 tickets, but they go and buy 500 more tickets. Okay, so you say, well, so what? That's no big deal. Well, the big deal is the visiting team, their fans can't come to the game because UConn bought them all. Literally, UConn University went in and just bought an excess of tickets of 500. So imagine that. Not only do they have the advantage by being the top team in the country, not only are they going to be the best team because they've won, several championships. Not only are they going to have the advantage because they play an hour and a half away from home, but now the visiting team, they have nobody yelling for them. Nobody. Can you imagine the cheerleaders in this scenario? UConn Huskies! UConn Huskies! They flash the camera to the other side of the stadium and it's chirp, chirp, crickets chirping. So people aren't excited about that at all. That's a little buzz in the news. On top of that, the other visiting teams that will have to travel the country to play in that division, none of their fans get to come to the game either. So it's exciting to see. It's like, okay, Gino, was that a little sly move there? He's a smart guy, very smart move. So we'll see how that works out for them in the long run. So we're talking about players. Kia Nurse for the UConn Huskies. She's a player to watch. Scored 29 points for them. Check this shooting out. Now, you talk about players that are literally ice cold in the veins. This one might be it. This one literally might be it. 12 of 12 of shooting. 12 of 12. Just knocking. In the zone, I've been in the zone before. I scored 47 points against UT one game. Been in the zone. She's not missing anything. Literally, she can kick the ball and it's going in. So there's a player to watch for UConn. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And we're going to be rooting for them. Let's talk a little bit about the Stanford Cardinals. Stanford Cardinals always going to bring it. They're always going to bring it. Tara Vanderveer does a lot with her girls. Again, she knows how to inspire them. Just a successful coach. They're a very fundamental team. They're going to come in. They're going to push the ball. They always have great shooters. You think Stanford Cardinal, that they're going to have 3 or 4 kids that can just shoot lights out from beyond the arc. Always very good mobile post players, big post players. Big, just, you never see a lot of centers just big and hefty in the league until you look at Stanford. I don't know where they find these girls, what they feed these girls, but they're always big. And then you talk about, again, the Oklahoma Sooners. I want to go back there for a little bit and talk about Sherry Cole. Sherry Cole is just inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame. And so for me, Hall of Fame coach, just elected, she's got some things that she wants to prove. She really wants to say, hey, I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm a good coach. I think Oklahoma might do some surprising things in this tournament. I am really looking forward to it. And then got to get to my last team, Florida State University. Why do I like Florida State? My assistant coach when I was at Texas Tech, Lance White, is there. He's been there. But Florida State, they also know how to win. They know how to get it. Other teams you have to look for. You have to look for Maryland. Maryland's always good. Again, you have to look for UT. You have to look for Baylor. All of these teams are really good. Louisville. Sorry, forgot to mention Louisville. I knew there was one more team. I'm like, there's one more team that's just out there making noise. And yes, that's Louisville. Louisville's going to hang with Baylor. They're going to give them a run for their money. So I'm just looking forward to some good basketball. I know that we're going to see some good games. Upsets, I don't know. Is it going to be UConn? Who's going to do it? I think it's doable, but we always say the team that wins is the team that believes most that they can win. And I think that Gino, and when his players, they walk out on the floor, they believe they can win. Thank you for joining us at the Sports Circus. Again, you can catch us on Saturdays, 9:20 a.m. The Game, 102.3 and 106.5 FM in the greater Los Angeles area, 8 Pacific a.m. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back with the next segment of men's basketball. I will talk to you about the NCAA and how the men are doing right when we come back. Thank you very much.